Hi, my name is Tim Bradshaw, and the following clip is my individual pitch for my marketing research project. The focus of my research project is the environmental marketing strategy used by oil companies. I chose this because I find it remarkable how oil companies, which are extremely detrimental to the environment, or at least they provide us with the means to be detrimental to the environment, how do these companies or organisations advertise themselves in such a way that consumers do not seem to acknowledge how detrimental they are when using the service? For example, when you are filling up your car with petrol, you don't think, I am contributing to the destruction of the environment. And so the marketing strategy of oil companies have convinced their customers that they are not environmentally unfriendly, and some have even gone further as to try and promote themselves as green companies, which is ridiculous. So their marketing strategy works, and they have done a phenomenal job because they are so bad on the scale, yet they promote themselves as if they're not bad at all, or even attempt to promote themselves as green companies. And I think this deserves looking at. Okay. The first piece of literature I will be using for my research project is a piece that attempts to measure the effects environmental marketing has on a firm. It is written by William Baker and James Sincula, and a quote from the abstract says, "This is the first empirical research to operationalize the environmental marketing construct." What that means is to attempt to measure it, the effect it has. My second piece of literature looks at branding and how companies use their branding as a form of environmental marketing. The literature I have is a book called Green Marketing by K. Peaty, which is there, and it basically observes marketing strategies used by companies to promote greenness, and it cites things like green symbols, colouring, mostly green and other natural shades such as blue and brown to enhance the brand's greenness, and the design of the brand. And actually, what is really interesting is if you've seen how BP have branded their logo, and it might surprise you given that it's an oil company. Take a look. It is worth noting that the book was published in 1995, so it is somewhat dated, but it does seem that branding strategies have not changed and the core fundamentals of it remain the same. So at this point I regard it as a very reliable piece of literature, but of course I might find better ones in the future. Another method for environmental marketers is to use advertising to promote the apparent greenness of their products, and my third piece of literature will analyse this. It's called Shades of Green, a multi-dimensional analysis of environmental advertising, and this is a content analysis designed to uncover the structure of green advertising. It looks at 3 dimensions of it: sponsor type, for profit or non-profit; ad focus, whether the advert focuses on consumer or the advertiser; and the depth of the advert. whether it's quite shallow or deep. And an interesting quote from the article says, "A majority of advertisers in the sample attempted to project a green corporate image rather than focusing on the environmental benefits of their product or service," which is very interesting. And it seems extremely relevant to oil companies. What I'm going to do now is I will show you a BP advert so you can see the technique used by BP to promote the environmental friendliness of their organisation.
Make the day a little better. Make the way a little better. Say hey, a little better. It's the place where I want to be. Say hey. Make the day a little better. Say hey.
Okay, well, so far I have literature which attempts to measure the impact an environmental marketing strategy has upon a firm, and I have literature on branding and advertising techniques to make an organisation appear more environmentally friendly. My next piece of research will be looking at how much of an impact actually turning green would have upon an organisation rather than just advertising themselves as green. Once I have finished the research of the literature, I will then apply that to BP, the oil company, and their environmental marketing strategy to evaluate how well they have done it and to find answers to the following questions. How effectively has BP rebranded itself to be an environmentally friendly organisation? How effective is BP's advertising at convincing customers that the organisation is environmentally friendly? Is it necessary for an oil company to be environmentally friendly to maintain high profits, or do they just need to brand themselves as being environmentally friendly? This will tell me whether oil companies have adopted what business literature has said about environmental marketing, and whether the oil companies have developed it further and added anything else, any other strategies, or gone in a different direction to what the business literature says. And then I will publish my findings in the research project. Okay, thank you for listening. I will appreciate any and all feedback, comments and suggestions, and if anyone has any suggestions about any primary research that I can conduct, that would be very helpful. And take care.